So, all right, welcome. I'm Chris McKenzie. You might know me from BPI. My friend Chris here, too, is one of the bigger trainers in town. So we thought for our YouTube page, we would do a myths and truths about contest prep. So let me ask this, Chris, tell us a little bit about how you competed and how many clients you have.
So I got about 20 clients. I started competing about 6 years ago. Gone through the coaches, now about to go into bodybuilding instead of classic physique. But as far as contest prep goes and getting ready for peak week, as far as pulling that water out, I keep it very simple. Throughout your whole process of your peak week, you've already kept that water in for the majority of your entire prep. So why would you manipulate that any more than you really have to? So keeping your sodium pretty high throughout your prep is gonna push all that water into the muscle, keep it nice, full, and hydrated. As you are coming back down, so as you're increasing the water from your peak week, I start dropping the water about, 3 days before your show, but we don't ever pull water. Pulling water is probably the worst thing you can probably do.
So you drop it, just drop the consumption.
Yeah, so we'll go up to, depending on your body, your weight, your height, there's a calculation that I do to see how much water you need to increase it to, and then what we're gonna pull it down to. So typically, the last day before your show, I'm gonna do about half a gallon of water. So that half a gallon is gonna last you the whole day, and then every meal you eat, you still are going to consume water.
With the food.
It
helps it digest.
Helps it digest,
Otherwise,
but it also
that shit goes
helps the
nowhere.
glycogen get pushed into the muscle.
Yeah.
So if you are sitting here eating carbs because you're carbing up for your show the day before, and you're not drinking any water, you're doing
You're not
nothing.
carbing up.
You're not
Yep.
carbing up.
So real quick, just to keep talking on it, how many clients you got right now about? You don't have to brag, but give us a number.
We're sitting about 17.
So you've probably either competed in or coached, let's say, 200 shows
Yeah.
amongst them?
Yeah.
All right. I've probably competed more than I've coached, but I'm probably around 100. So you got 300 competitions worth of, I don't know if the right word is knowledge, but trial and error.
Trial and
coming
error.
Here.
It's
So,
educated guessing.
yeah, so that water thing's a big topic. Here's on the water. When I was younger, a lot of like what I think of is shit people told me when I was first trying to compete because you're so thirsty for knowledge. You should drink distilled water when you're getting ready for a show. What are your thoughts on that?
Absolutely not. Distilled water is going to pull all the minerals out.
So right.
And you're just going to flush out and you're going to look flat. And it's pretty toxic.
Yeah, the one time I actually tried with distilled water, I legitimately think I got like clinically dehydrated.
Yeah.
I was super sick, and at the end of that show, this is really gross. I didn't make a poop for about 4 days because I think I was just so dried out that it actually fucked up my body. Here's a more fun one. When I was young, and I still hear it now, people would use Preparation H on their troubled areas to tighten up the skin. We do have a shredding gel, which works a little differently. It's more about firming the skin and pulling water out. But have you ever tried that or heard about it?
I've heard about the Preparation H. We've tried it when we first started competing. Did we see a difference? No, because the chemical that was in Preparation H at the time is no longer in Preparation H.
So you need Canadian Preparation H. That's the hack, everybody. Canadian Preparation H.
Yeah, so it doesn't work. We had coaches when we first started bodybuilding, me and my wife, who also competes. They had her wrapped up in Preparation H with cellophane for 4 days before the show. And to say that we saw a difference, there was no difference.
I know, it's crazy. I've seen a lot of the Preparation H and cellophane wrap back in the 90s. I don't forget who, I know who it was. I don't want to drop any names that aren't associated with the brand, but one of the big trainers who was a famous IFBB guy at the time, he used to train a lot of people where I lived, and he was huge on the Preparation H and cellophane. Yeah. It was crazy. Another myth or thought, I personally recommend continuing to consume creatine until the day of your show. Because for most people, and I'm talking like 90% of the people I know, the water retention you get is in your muscles. I don't know anybody that gets water retention in their skin from creatine. And if you're working out and sweating, any sub-Q water comes out in the first 2 minutes of your exercise anyway. But a lot of people tell you got to cut that creatine way earlier. What do you think of creatine?
No, I keep the creatine in all the way up into the show, and then even after the show, just stay hydrated.
Yep.
I mean, the last thing you want to do is have flat muscle. So the creatine is going to help direct that fluid into the muscle to keep it nice and full as your skin dries out.
And for carb loading.
Exactly.
The creatine's a
Exactly.
transport agent.
There's no
I mean,
reason
it's
to
like
pull
it's a
it.
blessing.
There's no reason to pull it.
All right, Jonas. So we got a couple water tactics, distilled water myth, the preparation H myth, how to use creatine. What's one of the crazier ones you've heard?
I would say pulling water 3 days before a show is probably the absolute craziest because, I mean, your kidneys are taking a beating already. You're pulling water, which your body needs, your muscles needs, your heart needs. There's no reason to pull that water out. You're just going to look flat and you're going to feel sick. And you're going to black out most likely on stage.
Yeah, so in the early 90s, because I'm like a natty guy. Don't hate me for it, because I know we're the worst kind of guys. But there was this movement in natural bodybuilding to show up. My friend Tim Martin, who's one of the best natural bodybuilders in history, called it concentration campy. Like, people would be so depleted, they actually looked like they were like horrible. But because they were so shredded, they were rewarded. Fortunately, that standard's gone. But I know guys, when I did the Yorton Cup one year, which is one of the better natural shows, a kid told me he didn't drink water for 3 days before the show.
That's super dangerous.
He was peeled, flat, but peeled, and he did beat me. But I was like, that's stupid.
How many years ago was that?
That was like 20 years ago now. So
Okay, so bodybuilding has completely
Changed a lot
changed.
since then,
So
yeah.
they're not looking just for a dry look. They're looking for an overall, like, shape. Full, dry, yes, but full.
yeah, I would agree. You don't want to sacrifice fullness for just about anything.
No, because it's an aesthetic look that you're looking for. You're looking for a specific look, and if you just look stringy, you should get passed up.
Yep. Final tip I'll throw out there, and this is one I actually believe. A friend of mine told me this. In the days leading into a competition, especially for guys like me who have thick but not lean legs, wear like 3 layers of compression pants. It stops your body from retaining water in your legs, kind of pushes it up top, and don't take them off till like the Protan Mousse goes on 20 minutes before stage. I'll tell you this, I know it's bro science, but I fucking believe it, and I've seen it work. What do you think of that one?
I don't know about that one. I haven't personally tried it. I personally hold a lot of water in my legs, so I might just go and try it.
See, that's how it
next
works,
one.
right? That's how this shit works.
So my legs don't show up until the day of the show.
Yeah, it's kind of how I am.
They look just completely flat. And then as soon as I pull that water that last day, all the lines come through.
But you even see when you're backstage or, in the 5-hour-long meeting before every competition, guys lay with their legs up in the hope of
bringing the
having
water
the
down.
fluid
I
come out.
have my clients do that same thing.
So
I mean, because
compression pants go hand in hand with
when
that.
you're laying down, your feet are up, you're closing your eyes, you're starting to fall asleep, your cortisol levels will start to drop, you will start to extract water.
There you
So
go.
to me, I still do that.
All right. One of the crazier things I did on that note when I did, it's actually my best show ever, so maybe I should do it. When I did the Team Universe in 2010, which I consider my crowning achievement of my bodybuilding, because I almost won an IFBB Pro card in that show. And the guy that beat me went on to win 2 IFBB 202 competitions the next year. It was the year before they bumped it up to 212.
I know that feeling.
So I lost to one of the best. Anyway, I actually put 2x4s under the feet of my bed so that as I slept for the 8 hours, my legs were higher than the rest of me. I don't know if it did shit, but
It put a lot of blood
anecdotal
right to your
evidence.
head.
Yeah, I mean, gets you how you want to be. So anyway, that's just some of the stupid shit bodybuilders do when they're getting ready for a show.
Yeah.
But it's stupid shit filtered through people that have had 300 shows worth of competition between them.
Over the years, it's been proven over and over again. Might not be science-based, but it's worked for us. So
So check this out. So our office is here in Coral Springs. Chris is one of the more well-regarded trainers in town. I don't think he's taken his business to the national level yet. But if you're watching this and you want to get a hold of him for any training advice, give him your IG or whatever the best way to get a hold of him.
it's Chris Eggleston, Chris.Eggleston_fit. You can hit me up there, or you can go to teamforgefitness1.com and just message me from there.
And if you hit us up on the BPI page, we'll pass it along to him too, because we're happy to have you all listening. So if you got any questions, send them in. Otherwise, the Chris and Chris Show will come back for another episode sometime soon.